Welcome to the Power Zone Sports Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about
Dallas has a big game Sunday night against the Raiders.
Please like and subscribe, and I'm going to give this podcast to my brother.
Good evening. It is Saturday night, and we had two NFL games that took place on Saturday night. We had the Los Angeles Chargers, a 30-13 win over the Chargers. The Chiefs defeated the Los Angeles Chargers. And then the earlier game, Detroit Lions 20-10 defeating the Chicago Bears. And John Fox continuing to hopefully play his way as head coach out of Chicago. And the Bears hopefully will get rid of John Fox. So John Fox is not a good coach, and this team has talent. Jordan Howard, the running back, has talent. Trubisky, the quarterback, has talent. But there's simply not enough talent on this team this year to make a deep run. Looks like the division's going to go down to Minnesota. Green Bay and Detroit, though, fighting for their playoff lives for the rest of the season. And a big game Sunday night, big game tomorrow between the Panthers and the Packers, both teams fighting for their playoff lives. Last week on the Power Zone Sports Podcast, I was talking about what would happen if the Patriots were to win Super Bowl number 6 in the Tom Brady era. But today I want to talk about a different team winning number 6 in the Super Bowl era. What if the Pittsburgh Steelers were to get ring number 7 this year? They've got a big matchup Sunday against New England. They have the number 1 seed, Pittsburgh does right now in the AFC. And if the road to the Super Bowl goes through Pittsburgh, it's usually a good bet that the Steelers are going to be one of the last teams standing when the season's over. Each time the Steelers have won the Super Bowl, they've never been complacent. They're always trying to win the next Super Bowl. When they had their 4 Super Bowls, the rallying cry was win one for the thumb. Then when they won their 5th Super Bowl, the rallying cry became win one for the other hand. And now if they manage to win 7 Super Bowls and increase their lead in the Lombardi Trophy, they would have as many Super Bowl rings as Ben Roethlisberger's jersey number 7. Lucky number 7 could have been coming the Pittsburgh Steelers' way, and it will be coming this year through their offense, which is very un-Pittsburgh-like. Usually their swarming defense is what they are known for, but Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown is having a crazy season this year for Pittsburgh, and their running game is good as well. Offense will carry the day for Pittsburgh if they want to hoist Lombardi Trophy number 7. Also, Carson Wentz, the man who looked like he was going to be the MVP this year for the Philadelphia Eagles, out for the rest of the season, a torn ACL. One of the best young starters in the game. His season is over as the Eagles played the Rams last Sunday. And what a terrible loss it is for the Eagles and their fan base. And well, that's a shame. One of the best young stars in the league. Quarterbacks going down with a lot of injuries this year. We've had Andrew Luck, who's been on the DL for the Colts. We've had Aaron Rodgers, who has gotten injured, and he's supposed to come back in action and play the Panthers Sunday. And we've got now this injury to Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz, one of the best young starters in the league, probably was going to win the MVP award, but the Eagles, that's a tough loss whenever you lose your quarterback. Hopefully the Eagles are going to be okay. They've won the NFC East division, but the playoffs are a hard road to go to without your regular quarterback in there. You might have a good running game, you might have a good defense, but if you don't have your main quarterback in there, it's a long road to think you can make it to the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. It's an almost impossible road that no team wants to go down with a backup quarterback. And for obvious reasons, you want your main signal caller in there. You want your best in there, especially with the games on the line, all the games of importance, the games that matter, especially the ones in January when you're fighting for that Lombardi trophy. It all comes down to the quarterback. That's why they make the big bucks.
I want to talk now about the greatest extra point in NFL history, and that is no hyperbole. I want to talk about the Colts and the Bills game in Buffalo that was played under blizzard conditions, whiteout conditions. The Colts had a touchdown late in the game. They were still trailing by a point. Adam Vinatieri kicking the extra point. Looked like it was going to be wide right, but then just like a David Beckham free kick, it bent back over the right upright and was good. The extra point was good. The greatest extra point in NFL history. Adam Vinatieri, who has made a career out of making big kicks for the Patriots for 10 years and now big kicks for the Colts. And Adam Vinatieri, if he's not a Hall of Fame kicker, I really don't know who should be in the Hall of Fame for kickers. He's had an amazing career, and it's amazing he's still able to deliver 20 seasons in the NFL, and he is still one of the best at his position, probably the best at his position. Although I would put Dan Bailey of the Cowboys right up there with Vinatieri for this season anyway, in regards to how they have performed in the kicking game this year.
So there's a pitcher on the free agent market who's about to make a lot of money and who's about to hopefully make the postseason dreams of a baseball franchise come true. This pitcher's name is Darvish, and he was the ace for the Rangers before he was traded to L.A. and then proceeded to melt down in Game 7 of the World Series. And it was a series where he might have cost himself a lot of money by his performance in Game 7, but rumors mill is saying that the Cubs are on the verge of, are one of the teams interested in Darvish's services. Jake Arrieta is gone from Chicago. Looks like he's gone. And so I could certainly see the Cubs making a run at Darvish, trying to get him over to the National League again. Get him over to the National League. And now that Shohei Ohtani, the Japanese hurler who can pitch and hit a pretty big bat as well, is now taking his talents to the American League in Anaheim, the Angels, Darvish might be the best name on the list for free agency. And where Jake Arrieta goes, it looks like he's gone from Chicago. Cub fans will always remember that he hit the home run in the postseason against the Giants in 2016, and the no-hitter that he threw against the Dodgers as well, and the World Series that he helped the Cubs win in 2016. Jake Arrieta, he will never be forgotten, to live in Cubs lore forever and ever, and Darvish might be writing his own name in Cubs lore as he might be on his way to Wrigley Field. So I talked about the games that took place Saturday. Thursday night, the game that took place was between the Broncos and the Colts, and the Broncos ended up defeating the Colts 25-13 in Indianapolis. And with that, here are the games that are going to be taking place Sunday, and who I think is going to win those games. Alright, so I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens to beat the 0-13 Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. I'm picking the Cardinals to defeat the Redskins. I'm picking the Eagles over the Giants. I'm picking the Dolphins over the Bills. And I'm picking the Packers over the Panthers now that Rodgers is back at quarterback. I'm picking the Jaguars over the Texans, even though Leonard Fournette's going to be out at running back for them. for the Jaguars, but I'm still picking the Jaguars to win. I'm picking the Vikings over the Bengals. I'm picking the Saints over the Jets. I'm picking the Seahawks to beat the Rams. I'm picking the Patriots to... I'm going to pick the Patriots to defeat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I'm picking the 49ers to beat the Titans. I'm picking the Cowboys to beat the Raiders on Sunday night. And on Monday night, I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons to defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night in Tampa.
Thanks for listening to the Power Zone Sports Podcast. Please like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter link will be down below. And I'll see you next time with the next podcast. Have a Merry Christmas. Bye.